The 2025 BMW M4 didn't whisper its presence. It arrived with an unmistakable growl, a fusion of elegance and raw power shaped by generations of motorsport engineering. It didn't beg to be noticed. It simply existed in a space where attention followed naturally, where every line, every sculpted surface, and every aggressive intake hinted at something deeper than performance: intention. This wasn't a car built to merely drive. It was a machine built to engage, to grip, to respond, and to thrill with the kind of mechanical clarity that only a true M vehicle could deliver. The silhouette of the 2025 M4 was unmistakably coupe: long hood, short rear deck, aggressive stance, but the nuances made it something else entirely. For the 2025 model year, BMW gave the M4 subtle but meaningful refinements. The most noticeable was a redesigned front fascia that now integrated laser-sharp adaptive LED headlights with a new signature lighting pattern that was sharper, cleaner, and more menacing than before. The controversial vertical kidney grills remained, not because BMW refused to listen, but because they served a purpose: massive airflow to the high-performance engine bay, backed up by real-world performance gains. The wide front track, flared wheel arches, and aerodynamic sculpting weren't for show. They channeled air exactly where it needed to go, reducing lift and improving cooling. Carbon fiber elements, like the front splitter, roof, rear diffuser, and mirror caps, did more than just cut weight. They added visual sharpness and motorsport heritage. The carbon fiber roof, in particular, lowered the center of gravity and emphasized the car's aggressive proportions, while the new forged 19-inch front and 20-inch rear wheels came wrapped in Michelin Pilot Sport 4S tires, gripping the asphalt like talons. But it was what lived under the hood that gave the M4 its soul. The 2025 M4 carried forward the revered 3.0-liter BMW M twin-power turbo inline-six engine, internally known as the S58, but for 2025, tuning refinements pushed performance even further. In the standard M4, the engine delivered 473 horsepower and 406 lb-ft of torque, sent exclusively to the rear wheels via a 6-speed manual gearbox, one of the last of its kind. For those who demanded even more, the M4 competition boasted 523 horsepower and 479 lb-ft, paired with BMW's lightning-quick 8-speed M Steptronic automatic transmission and available xDrive all-wheel drive system. The result was a 0 to 60 miles per hour time of just 3.4 seconds, launching with relentless force and surgical precision. The M4's xDrive system wasn't just all-wheel drive, it was intelligent, variable, and driver-focused. Under normal driving conditions, it delivered power rearward, maintaining the M4's traditional feel. But when traction demanded it, torque was shunted forward in milliseconds, enabling grip and balance even in wet or unstable conditions. In M dynamic mode, the system allowed for controlled slip, letting the driver hang the tail out just enough before stability stepped in. And for the purists, the system could be fully disabled in rear-wheel drive mode, allowing total, unfiltered control. Drive modes, Efficient, Sport, and Sport Plus, adjusted throttle response, steering weight, suspension damping, transmission behavior, and even exhaust note, allowing the M4 to transform from a grand touring cruiser to a track-day predator with the flick of a switch. Adaptive M suspension with electronically controlled dampers scanned the road hundreds of times per second, adjusting stiffness in real time. The M Servotronic steering system, precise and weighted, delivered feedback that felt organic, reminding the driver that this was not a video game, it was a high-stakes dance with physics. The cabin of the M4 was where the high-speed drama met luxury detail. For 2025, BMW introduced new interior trims, including carbon fiber weave with ambient backlighting, brushed aluminum, and open-pore wood for those wanting a balance of aggression and class. The new optional M carbon bucket seats were technological masterpieces, lightweight, bolstered for high G cornering, and heated, ventilated, and even partially power-adjustable. Made from carbon-reinforced plastic and leather-wrapped with Alcantara inserts, they looked like they belonged in a DTM race car but felt refined enough for daily use. In front of the driver sat BMW's fully digital curved display, a 12.3-inch instrument cluster flowing seamlessly into a 14.9-inch central touchscreen running iDrive 8.5. The interface was elegant, customizable, and responsive, with new graphical themes specific to M models. Essential driving data like lap timers, G-forces, and torque distribution could be displayed in the M-View mode, while the optional M Drift Analyzer recorded drift angles and times, turning a track day into data-driven progress. Voice commands, OTA updates, wireless Apple CarPlay and Android Auto, cloud-based navigation, and BMW's intelligent personal assistant gave the driver more control than ever, without the clutter of physical buttons. And yet, BMW retained tactile controls for climate, volume, and drive modes, an acknowledgement that real drivers still crave knobs they can turn without looking. The sound system, for those rare moments when the engine wasn't enough, came in two flavors: a premium Harman Kardon surround system or an upgraded Bowers & Wilkins Diamond system that transformed the M4's cabin into an audiophile-grade concert hall. Acoustic glass and sound-deadening materials were strategically placed to let in the right amount of engine note while isolating unwanted road noise. BMW didn't skimp on safety or assistance tech either. The 2025 M4 included Active Driving Assistant Professional as standard on higher trims, with features like adaptive cruise control, lane keeping assist, collision avoidance, blind spot monitoring, rear cross-traffic alert, and traffic jam assist. But unlike lesser vehicles, all systems could be disengaged easily, allowing the driver to take full command when desired, another nod to the enthusiast heart beating at the center of the M4. For 2025, BMW also introduced new colors that paid homage to M history. Frozen Portimao Blue, Isle of Man Green Metallic, and Velocity Yellow joined the classic lineup, each accentuating the M4's curves and creases under different light. New wheel designs and trim packages allowed for deeper customization, ensuring that no two M4s had to look, or drive, exactly alike. Even the trunk was practical, 13 cubic feet, enough for a weekend getaway or a couple of track day duffels. The M4 was, after all, still a coupe designed for everyday use, albeit one that could outrun most cars on the road without breaking a sweat. And that's what made the 2025 BMW M4 so extraordinary. It wasn't just about speed or numbers, though it had those in abundance. It was about experience, about turning every drive into something visceral, precise, and memorable. It was a car that could transport you to work in silence, then devour corners at 150 miles per hour on a back road without a single complaint. It didn't shout for attention, and it didn't need to justify its existence. It simply delivered, on promise, on performance, and on pedigree. In a world where many performance cars had grown soft, bloated, or over-digitized, the 2025 BMW M4 stood firm in its identity a driver's machine, honed by decades of motorsport excellence, and built for those who still believed that the road could be more than a means to an end. It could be a thrill, a challenge, a story waiting to be written one corner, one shift, one heartbeat at a time.